decided to take a ride over to Lutterworth today to see a couple of things. One is to visit John Moubray's training rooms that are used at a place called the Greyhound Coaching Inn, which in the 1990s John Moubray, who authored RCM2, actually used to take week-long courses there, residential courses. So it's not far away from where we are in Coventry. So I'm going to go and visit that coaching inn to see where John Moubray spread the word of RCM2, and also we're going to look at the Frank Whittle memorial if we can as well. It's a bit noisy here, might have to do it again. Taking a ride out to Lutterworth this morning. It's Bank Holiday Monday, it's 2025, so we're at the end of August here in the UK, and I've come to Lutterworth to visit a place I've meant to come for years. It's the Greyhound Coaching Inn, and I'll put a few photographs here of the coaching inn. This is where John Moubray ran his week-long residential courses back in the 1990s, and I just went in and asked the lady in here called Wendy about do they serve food anymore, which they don't. It's purely a bed and breakfast place now, so you can come and stay here. And they've got a bar, so you can buy a drink or have a coffee. But one of the strange things, I said, oh, this is kind of famous in the reliability world, a lady called Wendy. And then she said, oh, I knew John Moubray. I was here 30 years ago. When John Moubray ran his RCM2 week-long courses, and she even remembered the room where John Moubray had his heart attack and unfortunately passed away quite young. So it's great to finally be here. I'll put a load of photographs up of the Greyhound Inn. I'm going to go and have a look at the Frank Whittle memorial now as well, because Frank Whittle did all the early gas turbine work here. So no Frank Whittle, no jet engines, no international flight. So yeah, a very important place, Lutterworth, when it comes to engineering, reliability and jet engines. So I hope you enjoy this short video. It's about announcing a kind of a short range of videos. I'm going to do all about RCM, mainly looking at the books and the methodology, but not really going into too much detail about it. I want to keep it for the beginner really, so there'll be some cycling footage on here as well. It's a beautiful day here at the end of August. So I think that's about it now. It's an amazing kind of historical building, as you'll see from the photographs. So yeah, if you're ever in the UK, you're interested in reliability centred maintenance, then Lutterworth's definitely a place to come, and look out for the Greyhound Coaching Inn, which is, you know, in the town centre. So cheers, thanks for watching, and see you later. On my way home now after a visit to Lutterworth to go to John Moubray's old stamping ground, I suppose you call it, where he did this training back in the 1990s. And yeah, it's good to bump into Wendy, who works there and remembers John Moubray back in the day. So this is halfway home, well, no, probably about 3 or 4 miles from home. And you can see in the background there the Rolls-Royce testing facility. So we're at Anstey. Anstey exists because of the shadow factories from the Second World War. That's why this facility was first built here. Rolls-Royce carried on, and it's their test department. So they generally do all of their testing right back from the 1960s, 70s, right through to the present day here. And also they used to do rebuild work. I don't know whether they still do turbine rebuild work here, but this is where all of those kind of military aircraft engines used to come to be rebuilt. So yeah, it's a great morning, good afternoon. Go and visit Frank Whittle, his memorial. The site of his first workshops there in Lutterworth, which is not far from the Greyhound coaching inn where Moubray held his week-long courses back in the day. And yeah, I was so pleased to speak to Wendy, somebody who actually knew Moubray and remembered his passing there during a training course. So yeah, taken way too early in my opinion, and he's one of those guys I'd have loved to have met and loved to, you know, had a course off him and maybe had a drink with him. So yeah, so it's end of August, by the way. It's Bank Holiday Monday 2025. So I hope you enjoy the video, and see you later in another one. See ya, bye bye. back to Coventry now, and come to have a look at the Whittle Arch, which is, I'll put some other video on. This is a tribute in Coventry to Sir Frank Whittle, who was born here in Coventry, raised here in Coventry, and did his work there out at Lutterworth with the early gas turbines. So yeah, I'll do some video of it just to show you what the arch is about. It gets all lit up at night as well. Represents the turbine blades on the gas turbine, and there is Frank Whittle looking at the skies.